Have you ever wondered why we're so fascinated by giant creatures wreaking havoc on cities? Why do we keep coming back to stories of towering beasts, mutated creatures, and unstoppable forces of nature? From the eerie black and white classics to today's CGI spectacles, monster movies have terrified, thrilled, and captivated audiences for generations. But these films are more than just giant monsters smashing buildings. They tell us something deeper about our fears, our culture, and even our future. So where did it all begin? And how has the genre evolved over the decades? Let's dive in. Before Godzilla became the king of monsters, the seeds of the genre were already being planted. In 1931, audiences were introduced to Frankenstein, a creature born from science gone wrong, and just 2 years later, King Kong climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, cementing himself as cinema's first true giant monster. These early films weren't just about horror. They were about humanity's struggle with the unknown, with nature, and with our own creations. But things took a dramatic turn in the 1950s. As the world entered the nuclear age, a new kind of monster emerged. Godzilla, 1954, wasn't just a giant lizard. It was a walking, roaring embodiment of nuclear destruction, a response to the horrors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan's Kaiju cinema was born, and it wouldn't be long before other countries followed suit. By the 1950s and 1960s, monster movies were everywhere. Hollywood embraced the creature feature era, with films like The Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1954, and Them, 1954, bringing new kinds of terror to the big screen. Audiences couldn't get enough of radioactive ants, alien invaders, and mutated horrors lurking in the shadows. But why were these films so popular? Because they tapped into the fears of the time. The Cold War, the space race, and the rise of new technologies made people uneasy, and monster movies gave them a way to process those anxieties by turning them into thrilling, action-packed spectacles. Even low-budget films like The Blob, 1958, and The Fly, 1958, became cult classics, proving that even the smallest monsters could leave a lasting impact. Fast forward to today, and the monsters are bigger than ever, both in size and popularity. After years of dormancy, Godzilla made a massive comeback, with Hollywood reintroducing the character in 2014, leading to the rise of the MonsterVerse, which brought us Kong, Skull Island, 2017, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, 2019, and Godzilla vs. Kong, 2021. But Godzilla wasn't alone. Films like Pacific Rim, 2013, introduced audiences to new kinds of giant monsters, blending sci-fi and action in ways never seen before. And thanks to modern CGI, today's monsters are more terrifyingly realistic than ever. However, something has changed. Unlike the simple good versus evil battles of the past, modern monster movies explore more complex themes, like environmental destruction, humanity's impact on nature, and even the idea that monsters might not be the real villains after all. Monster movies don't just stay in theaters. They've taken over pop culture. From video games like Resident Evil and Monster Hunter to TV shows like Stranger Things, the influence of the genre is everywhere. Even in comic books, board games, and theme park attractions, our love for monsters never seems to fade. But why? What is it about these creatures that keeps us coming back for more? Is it the thrill of fear, the spectacle? Or maybe, deep down, we just love the idea of something bigger than ourselves? So, what's next? Will we see even bigger monsters? Smarter creatures? More thought-provoking stories? One thing is certain, the monster movie genre isn't going anywhere. As long as we have fears to face, anxieties to explore, and a craving for awe-inspiring spectacle, monster movies will continue to evolve, just like the creatures they bring to life. So, what's your favorite monster movie? And what kind of monster do you think the future holds? Let's talk about it in the comments.